Completing the square. Now, before we commence completing the square, the first thing we need to do is to make sure that the coefficient in front of that x squared is number 1. If it's not, then we need to factorize. It's very important, or else we're not going to get it right. Now, once it is number 1, we can complete the square. How we do it is we get the number in front of the x, whatever that number is, we halve it, and then we square it. So let's do one. Solve each of the following equations for x by first completing the square. Well, in front of the x squared there's number 1, so that's fantastic. So I'll start this over here, and I'll just set it up, because when we set it up, we're going to be like this. We'll be completing the square. Then we got the takeaway 2. In here, whatever that number is, we're going to plus, and we're going to take it away from here. Now, how do we get the number? Number in front of the x, which is -2. I'll write it down here. Divided by 2, halve it, that's what it said, so that's -1. And now I've got to square this one, so that means it's 1. So I add 1 in here, and subtract the 1 in there. Now this that we just finished can be factorized, and it will factorize down to x, and that number there, that half of the number in front of the x squared, so -1, and it's going to be all squared, and you can check it out yourself, and this becomes -3. So that's how we factorize this one here by completing the square. I'll do this one here. There's still number 1 in front of the x squared, so let me set it up first. X squared minus 2kx. This is going to be plus whenever we find this. Oh, I've got to get rid of this because I've already got a 0 there. Plus 1 minus whatever that number is equals 0. So let's find that number. In front of the x is the -2k. Divide it by 2, halve it, gives me -k. Squaring that gives me positive k squared. So this would be k squared, and this will be take away k squared. This will factorize to x minus k all squared, and because we can't do anything there, we might just leave it as plus 1 minus k squared. Look, we can factorize that one as well. We better change this to the therefore sign. C is slightly different. I'm just going to put a line here so we don't get confused. This has got the number 2 in front of it. So the first thing we need to do is take 2 out as a common factor from everything. So we get x squared minus 3 on 2x minus a half equals 0. Now you can write that 2 as many times as you think are necessary, but let's set this up. X squared minus 3 on 2x. I know this number is going to be plus whatever it is, minus a half on the outside, and minus whatever that number is equals 0. So the number in front of the x is -3 on 2. Halve it. Now I'm not going to go divide by 2 here because that's going to be silly, so I'm going to change the divide to a times. And remember, flip this one, so instead of divide by 2, I've got times by half, which ends up being -3/4. Squaring that gives me 9 on 16. So this will be plus 9 on 16, and this will be minus 9 on 16. I've still got the 2 there. That bracket will factorize to x, and remember, there it is, -3/4 minus 3/4, all squared. Now, I might as well try and do this a bit better. That fraction 16, that denominator, this is 2, so times by 8 times by 8, which means I get -8 here, and minus another 9 is minus 17 over 16 equal to 0. So that one, oh, we had to solve. Oops. Oh, I didn't realize that we had to solve. So let me go back and actually solve each one, because I didn't realize that that was it. So I'll come back to here, solving for it. I put this equal to 0, so I get x minus 1 squared minus 3 equals 0. So x minus 1 squared equals 3. So x minus 1 will equal plus and minus the square root of 3. So x will equal 1 plus and minus the square root of 3. Okay, I'm going to run out of room to do these ones. So I might just go and do the last one, and you guys can do the B. So this one here, I'm going to bring the minus 17 on 6 to the other side and make a positive 17 on 6, and then divide by 2, so that I've got positive 17 over 32. And I'll take the square root. So minus x minus 3/4 will equal plus and minus the square root of 17 over 32, and then add the 3/4. So x equals 3/4 plus and minus the square root of 17 over 32. It's the whole thing square rooted. So I haven't changed it. Hopefully I've got that one right, or else I'll be in trouble. Okay, the next one. Find the coordinates of the vertex by completing the square and hence sketch the graph of that. Okay, so let's complete the square here. Hopefully I've got room to sketch, or else I'll just leave it out. So with this one here, we've got minus 2. I'm going to factorize at the same time as putting it equal to 0. X squared. Because remember, to complete the square, we've got to have a 1 in front of that x squared. This becomes a minus 3x, and this becomes a plus 4 equals 0. So when I expand it, I get the negative 2x squared, the plus 6x, and the minus 8. So negative 2 here, x squared minus 3x plus 4 minus equals 0. Half of negative 3 is negative 3 on 2. Square root gives me 9 on 4. 9 on 4. Did we just do this one? So we've got negative 2 x minus 3 on 2 squared. This is over 1, which means it's actually 16 over 4. So this will become plus 7 on, plus 7 on 4 equal to 0. So the vertex, it's asking for the vertex. The vertex is when this equals 0. In other words, this will equal 0 when x equals 3 on 2. And, oops. And there's our y part. But remember, I did forget to put brackets here when I've done all this. So I've got to bring in that negative, that 2 there, so this will be 7 on 2, and of course it's negative because of that negative there. So that's my vertex. And we can sketch it, but I'll leave the sketching part. I'm sure you guys will know how to sketch that by now, but I'll just show you the vertex where it goes. So 3 on 2, so there's my 1, there's my 2, it's in between there, and negative 7 on 2, there's 2, negative 4, negative 6, so this is equal negative 3.5, so negative 3.5. I might change this to like 1, 2, 3, and negative 4. Negative 3.5 is right there, so there's the vertex where they line up. And of course, because it's a negative 2, it will be like that. That's your graph there. And you can find where it crosses the the y axis. Bad graph, and apologize again. It should cross at negative 8. That's your exercise 4F.